Don't start with me. Don't start with me. Greetings, Royals. It is Constance with QueenlyMe.com, your place for tips and inspiration on all things relationships. If you are single, dating, in a relationship, I have made it my mission to help you do it the right way. Okay? 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 One of them okays is gonna work. Okay? Okay, be still and know. So I've gotten the question recently about how to prepare for a relationship. And although I feel like all of my blogs in one way or another kind of address this, I felt that I kind of needed to put it into one cute little answer for people who just don't have time to read all 100 of the blogs that's on my website. So one of the best ways to prepare for a relationship is actually one of those things that most people try to avoid. Lord Jesus, please help me. For it to flow, for it to reach people, for it to help people, for it to speak to people right in their situation. This is your video, this is your YouTube channel, this is your blog, and I pray that you speak through me what your children need to hear. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay. Cannot forget to pray, because, child. So one of the best ways to prepare for a relationship is by doing something that a lot of people actually try to avoid. And if you are able to avoid doing this and still get into a relationship, then your relationship is going to suffer because of what you avoided. If you want to have a successful relationship, then there is no way around doing the work to really know yourself. A lot of people might think like, really, that's your answer? Like, know myself? I've been with myself for all of my life. And yeah, I know me, okay? Can we move on to the next thing? No, we cannot. Because listen, knowing yourself actually takes work. Sometimes you don't really know how much you don't know until you're placed in a certain situation that forces you to give an answer for something you're not even aware of. But the fact that this takes work actually makes it one of the best ways to prepare, because relationships are work. So if you don't want to put in the work now to learn who you are by yourself, then you're not ready for a relationship. The success of your relationship with others is dependent upon the relationship that you have with yourself. And yes, we actually have relationships with ourselves. Now, if you skip this step completely, then you're always going to be operating on some level of deception in your relationship. Whether you know it or not, whether you mean to do it or not, because there's no way that you can be as open and honest as you need to be in a relationship if there is so many things that you don't know about yourself. If you don't know it, how can you be open and honest and upfront about it? Now, this is what's dangerous about dating someone and getting into a relationship before you truly know yourself. You are going to end up blindly believing and even depending on the opinions of others to define who you are. They could say you're a horrible person, and you're going to end up believing them just because you didn't take the time to find out all the things that make you a good person. But when you already know who you are, you're able to be upfront and honest about it, and even all that you come with, because nobody is going to go into a relationship without some type of baggage. So it's better to just be upfront and honest about the full package that is you. But first you have to become aware of all of that in order to even communicate it. The more you take the time to explore yourself and who you are, the more you'll begin to discover just how much you never knew about yourself. We are such complex beings that we could learn ourselves for a lifetime, especially because the only constant in our lives is change. We have a core personality and core values, but as we grow and experience more things and learn more things in general, It adds to who we are, which means we're always going to be updating. You're never going to run out of new things to learn and discover about yourself. Relationships do an excellent job of exposing all of your issues. So there are going to be some things that you aren't aware of until you get in the environment of a relationship that's going to cause those things to be pulled up to the surface. But the best thing that you can do right now while you're still single is to at least work towards uncovering and discovering as much of that stuff as you can. Because the last thing you want to happen is to finally get into a relationship where you think this person can be the one, and then all of your repressed traumas and your skeletons come crawling out the back of that scary, dusty closet of yours and end up just chasing them away. Getting to the root of who you are is not always a pretty process. So I suggest doing those things now while you're single so that you don't have to do them in front of a small audience. Now this brings up the question of, okay, so how do I get to learn myself? I think my big sister Dion said it best in our relationship talk video. You learn yourself when you're by yourself. Spend some time alone. When you're by yourself, there aren't as many distractions or things trying to influence you. So you're free to organically be who you are and do what you genuinely want to do without having to consider anybody else. Adrienne Bailon said that one of her favorite things to do is to duck off into a Barnes & Noble, sit on the floor, and just look at books for hours. Now that's not a usual thing to go and plan to do. So clearly that's something she probably would have never figured out if she wasn't off just by herself doing her own thing. At one point I actually thought that I didn't like to cook, but it turns out that one of the highlights of my week is searching new recipes to try and going to the store, getting everything I need, laying it out on the counter. I have a whole setup. I prop my laptop up and I watch all of the YouTube videos that I didn't have time to watch throughout the week while I'm cooking my new recipe. It's one of my favorite things to do now. And I haven't had any disasters yet, so your girl be cooking, okay? Some other practical ways that you can get to learn yourself is to start a bullet journal. Now, I haven't had the pleasure of starting one yet, but I hear about it all the time. I've seen some stuff about it on Pinterest, and it looks really interesting, actually. Get on Pinterest and look around. I'm pretty sure there's some bullet journals that ask you questions to really get to the bottom of figuring out things that you never even knew about yourself or never even thought to ask yourself. Take yourself out on a date. You need to know what it feels like to be treated and pampered before you get into a relationship. People get so flattered over the basic dating things because it's things that they did not experience while they were single. You don't have to wait for another person to go on a date. Go by yourself. Dine yourself, okay? Make you feel real special. Get cute for you. Spring is about to be in full swing, so schedule some festivals. Look at some festivals that are happening in your area. Even ones that are maybe in like a few cities or maybe the state next door. Take a little road trip. Go to a festival. Go to some concerts. You can do all of this by yourself, honey. Go on a missions trip. Go on a staycation. Live your life, and you might actually surprise yourself with what you really like to do. Now, I'm still in the process of learning myself as well, but I've gotten to a point where I actually have a lot of fun by myself. I laugh just as hard by myself as I do when I'm around other people. I have a wonderful time with me. But it wasn't always like that. It really took some time for me not to be afraid of being alone and not to be so, woe is me, I don't have any friends, I don't have anybody to go on a date or take me on a date. Like, anything that you would do when you're in a relationship, do it with you right now. I'm starting to get out of my comfort zone. I joined Meetup. I don't know if you guys know what Meetup is. I'm gonna link it. But if you are a single introvert like me who has very few friends, and the friends that you do have are in relationships, so they be booed up or whatever, you can't really just be the third, fifth wheel all the time, okay? Couples don't really need to hang around a bunch of single people. And single people don't really need to hang around couples all the time. It makes you feel some type of way. But I got out of my comfort zone, and I joined Meetup and joined some groups on there in my city of just like people who enjoy doing the things that I like to do. You know, like just get out of your comfort zone. What point was I making? Maybe it'll come back to me, maybe it won't, but anyways. So I hope that this helped you and brought a little more clarity to your dating and single situation. It's a good sign that you want to prepare for your relationship. So I'm proud of you for really seeking information on how to do that properly. I also talk about 2 other really great ways to prepare for a relationship now in your singleness. And you can find those other 2 ways in my blog for this week titled 3 Ways to Prepare for a Relationship. Go ahead and subscribe to my blog while you're there, and you will unlock a whole load of freebies that I'm going to email to you. If you like this video, I hope you give it a thumbs up. I hope you subscribe to this channel, and I hope that you tap the bell so you'll know the next time that I post. Don't forget to go follow me on Instagram for daily relationship quotes. I put scriptures, motivational things, a lot of videos. And I want to know down in the comments, what things are you doing right now in your singleness to prepare for your relationship? Or if you're already in a relationship or you're dating, what are some things that you did while you were single to prepare for your relationship? Or better yet, what are some things that you wished you did when you were single to better prepare for the relationship that you're in now? Ooh, that's a good question. Go ahead and drop that comment down below, and I will see you same place next week. Bye.